Hello, kitty. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Hi, cubies and newbies. I am Sunshine. This is the ABCube method for solving Rubik's Cubes. Formula A is 4 moves right there. Formula B is 8 moves. One row, one. A is 1 row, 1 column. B is 1 row, 2 columns. And is determined by holding the cube in your hand, looking at the face of the cube, and looking at it as if it's a spreadsheet, rows and columns. And those are the only slices that you turn. So there's no back moving the back. There's no, yeah, it's all just rows and columns. No twistsies. All right. So Formula A is 4 moves. 1 row, 1 column. It moves a piece to the top. You can use it on any piece on the top on the first face, but it only works on the first face. So I only teach it on the corners in the absolute center. 1 row, 1 column. For the bottom row in the right column, it's going to twist. It's going to interchange these corners and do a bunch of other stuff that we don't care about because we just care about the top layer. Formula A, except for the first four corners, is always done in a multiple of 6. So the rest of the cube is untouched. So if I want to move this piece up here, the action is taking place in this column. So I start by moving this piece away from the action. I move the space. It's going to land here. So I'm in the space that wants to come in down. What's up first? Hey, good. Hi, Grisbar. How are you doing today? Good to see you. Your name. Good to see your name. Formula A then keeps interchanging these two columns and twisting them as it goes along. I am confused about how this works because my stats say I have 0 viewers, but you are talking to me, which means you are viewing me. So I can't believe it, the numbers say. But hi, how are you doing? You have anything fun and exciting happening in your life? Top row in 2 columns for Formula B. If you do the top row in the outside columns, it's going to move corners around. If you do the top row inside column, it's going to move edges around. If you do the top row inside columns, it's going to move centers around. But it's the same muscle memory pattern. Slide up, slide down, slide down. There's no order of operations for the cubes, but I tend to generally do since every cube that you have, every n by n by n cube that you have has corners. We're going to start with the corners first. We're going to treat every cube the exact same way, which means these two formulas, these two patterns, will solve every complexity Rubik's Cube. You'll notice I do not have a parity for an algorithm for parities because parities are a lie. You can play with them if you want to, but you don't have to. This is not a speed solve method. This is not a fewest moves method. You solve now the 4x4. Awesome. This is a competitor of mine as far as learning to solve the cube. This is, I believe it's F2L, where you do the first 2 layers, then you orient, and then you place. Then you place, then you orient, position, then orient. But basically, every one of these that I can't even focus on. Where did I get this? I got this off of this is I bought these cheat sheets off of I bought most of my cubes. The cubicle.us is where I get it, and so this is a competitor. In order to use this, you have to memorize every position the cube can look like, and a different algorithm based on what it looks like. And so compare that to Formula A is 4 moves, Formula B is 8 moves, and even though this is not a speed solve method, it is definitely it's the easiest direct solution for large cubes. Was this that you were talking about? The cheat sheets? Yeah. I want to come up. I want to come up with a cheat with one of these like this for mine. It'll just have Formula A on one side, and it'll show which columns you use and how it moves either the corners or the center. And then on the reverse side, it'll have the F2L, the Formula B, and it'll show this is how you move the corners, this is how you move the edges, this is how you move the centers, and so it'll be much easier. It currently looks like this. This is the 4 moves, and it brings a selected color to the top, color up. If you do the corners, it's this row and this row. It switches these corners. If you do the centers, it brings the centers up. And then for this 4 moves, you can move the corners around, or the edges around, or the centers around. So something similar to that. All right. Hey, Grizzbar, so do you want to chat with me, or do you want me to go jump right into a tutorial? I aim to please. 4x4. I have a white cube for the 3x3 and the 4x4, so I can teach them by if I'm zooming with you and I see your 4x4, I can do the moves on my cube without the colors getting in the way. So whoever I'm teaching online, they can follow my cube, my moves, without getting distracted by what the colors are. Okay. Also works on, hi School Bus. If you can get Grizzbart, do you have any desire to Zoom today? When it's just School Bus loves to Zoom every time, and he's currently mastering the A and the B methods on the corners. And so I Zoomed with him yesterday, though. So I think today I will just jump into a tutorial. This one is preset. This is a Minx. This is the Mega Minx. This is the Giga Minx. This is the Terra Minx. And the formula A and B also solves just these methods. We'll solve every one of these cubes as well, these puzzles as well. It's not a cube, it's a dodecahedron. But formula A, again, brings the corner to the top and twists the corners around. Formula B moves 3 pieces around, and that's all you are going to need to do. The only difference between the cube and the Minxes is that while there's no real order of operations, aside from the one whatever you assign to it, there is an order of operations for the Minx, in that if you're working with the star pieces, which means one of your 2 columns B is going to be the centerpiece, it moves more than just the 3 pieces around. When you move the star piece, it has ancillary movements of the non-star pieces as well. So for the Minxes, you want to do the star before you do the rest of the non-star. All right. So, Grizzbar, what's your time on the 4x4, if you want to tell me? I haven't timed myself on the 4x4, so I can't return the question. But again, this is not speed solve or fewest moves. Okay. But every cube has 4 corners. It has 8 corners. We're going to work with the first 4 corners first. We're going to pick, there's 6 colors. I'm going to pick yellow. You can pick whatever color you want to, but all of my cubes have yellow, where not all of my cubes have every color on them. What's your personal best for the 3x3? 58 seconds. I only know that because I own I just this month got a timer that I didn't have before. It came with a package with a lot of used cubes that I bought. So I have a timer now, so I could start timing myself. But the only reason I know what my personal best is because I have the Go Cube, and it has a built-in timer in it. You're 30 seconds. Okay, for the 3x3. Yeah, so I have beaten a minute a couple times, but my average is about 1.5 minutes on the 3x3. I have not yet timed myself on anything else. Not since the early 80s, when it was done with a stopwatch by a friend. So, first 4 corners. I'm going to pick yellow. Okay, the first four corners, they're done. It's the exact same method whether you're working with a 2x2 or a 10x10. So I'm going to just I'm going to start here. So I'm trying to find a corner that has yellow because I'm working with yellows. I'm ignoring everything but the corners, and I'm ignoring everything but yellow. Okay, which is easier to do on a 2x2 than a 5x5, but we do it. So this easy for me to say. Find your corner that has a yellow on it, hold it in your hand so that yellow is on the top face and it's under your left thumb. Okay, so this corner that we selected is correct because we selected it and we are all powerful. The cube, we're going to make all the rest of the cube match this corner. Back in the 80s, and still we worked around the absolute center because the absolute center was a single piece inside and we could not rotate in direction to itself. Could not twist in relation to itself, so we worked around the center. But that became less relevant when the 4x4 came out because you could not see the absolute center. But we still do that. But I'm going to work the corners first. So I find a corner, yellow on top, and we're going to make the rest of the cube match it. So looking at the front of the cube, rows and columns, I look at the corner that's under my right thumb, and I look to see whether there's a yellow anywhere on these three colors. If there is, formula A, bottom row, right column, will bring the yellow to the top face. If there's not, then I look at the corner cube underneath it, and as long as there's a yellow in one of these two spots, formula A is going to bring it to the top. So there is a yellow in one or both of these spots. So with my thumb on this one to keep the cube stable, bottom row, right column, this piece is going to come up here, so I move it away from the action. It's going to land here, so I move the space down. I bring the cube into the space and the cube in the space back up again. And if the yellow's on top, I pause and reassess, but the yellow's not on top yet, so I keep going. Out, down, in, up. Okay. Out, down, in, up. There we go. Okay. Yellow's on top, slide it out of the way. Keep going. This yellow is preserved. I look to see if there's a yellow here. If there's a yellow here or here, then formula A will bring it to the top. And yes, for the first few colors, hello. If you've just joined me, I am Sunshine. I am the creator of the ABCube method for solving Rubik's Cubes. And it is not a speed solve method, but it works on every complexity Rubik's Cube, and you can learn it inside of 2 hours. Learning being defined as you've no longer need to refer to your cheat sheet because you've got it internalized in your head. All right, so yellow's on top on this one. Let's do the same thing for this one. Here's a yellow. Okay, look at if there's a yellow here or here, formula A will bring it to the top. So out, down, in, up. Formula A here, the arrow represents the single slice you're moving, and the arrow represents the rest of the cube that you're not moving. So when yellow comes to the top, we pause, we hold the cube stable, slide it out of the way, and we're over here. If there's a yellow here or here, formula A will bring it to the top. Okay, slide. If there's a yellow here or here, formula A will bring it to the top. And so, okay, so yellow's on top on this one, yellow's on top on this one. The reason I do it, I do all of the cubes at the same time rather than just go through a solve, is that I'm more likely if I repeat the same step, I'm more likely to be able to show you what your cube looks like. But I'm demonstrating that they're all done the exact same way. So here's a yellow. We're going to keep this one. We're going to keep this one. So we're going to start here. Okay, these ones are correct. Here's a yellow. If there's a yellow here or here, formula A will bring it to the top. If not, I hold the cube stable, rotate the bottom by 1/4 turns until there is a yellow here or here, and formula A will bring it to the top. Now it's going to be, I do it until the yellow is on the top face. It's going to be 5 or less because 6 of formula A gets you right back to however you began. So here, there's no yellow here, there's no yellow here. Slide the bottom, now there is. It's going to land up here, out, down, in, up. Okay, so yellow's on top there. Here's 2 yellows, there's a yellow here. So if the yellow is on the top layer but not the top face, formula A will bring it to the top. And so let's do that. So here's the yellow here. So out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. Okay. Slide the top to preserve it. If there's a yellow here or here, A will bring it to the top. If not, hold the cube stable. Rotate the bottom by quarter turns until the answer is yes to the question, is there a yellow in one of these two spots? And then formula A brings it to the top. Okay, so we've brought yellow to the top. At this point in time, one of three things has happened. We're going to, each corner has three colors. We've only been looking at the yellow, so now we're going to look at the other colors. And either the colors will match to themselves on 1, 4, or none of the sides. You can't have any other option because of the mathematics of the cube. So for this one, orange does not equal red, green does not equal blue, red does not equal orange, and blue does not equal green. So this one has 0 sides matching. This one, green does not equal orange, blue does not equal green, orange does not equal blue, but the red side matches, so this has 1 side. So this has 0, this has 1. This one, red equals red, but the other ones don't match, so this also has 1. And this one, all of the sides match. So of the 3 things that can happen, we've had them all in these 4 cubes. So if all of them match, we pause and we advance to the next step. But for now, we pause and let the rest of the class catch up. So for both of these categories, if there's 1 or 0, what I'm going to do formula B, which is going to move some pieces around, and then I'm going to do formula A, which is going to bring my yellow color back to the top. Now, these cubes, the corners are going to advance to the next phase. So if none of them match, after I do this, one side will match. If one side matches to begin with, when I do this, they will all match. So for example, here I have one side matches, so I'm putting the red side facing away from me. And formula B is the top row and 2 columns. It's the 2 outside columns. This cube is going to stay the same. These are going to move, so I'm going to preserve this piece. So I move it away from the left column and the left up. I move it away from the right column and right up. Do it again, away from the left column and left down, away from the right column and right down. Okay, so it's up, up, down, down with a slide in between. This one stayed the same, and we already know how to bring the color to the top on these ones. So formula A to bring the yellow back to the top. When the yellow's on top, pause, hold the cube stable, slide the top to preserve it, and continue with the next corner. Out, down, in, up. Out, down, in, up, pause, stable, slide, next one. Out, down, and up, out, down, and up. And when the yellow comes back, the rest of the cube has been untouched. You can't really tell it when it's scrambled, but I can do the same thing on this one to demonstrate. So when the yellow comes back, this time all 4 of them match. Okay, so it's like that one. Now, this one didn't have any sides that matching, so it doesn't matter which way I hold it. I'm going to do the same thing though. B, and then A to bring the colors to the top. So top row, outside columns, preserve from the left to the right, left up, from the right to the left, right up, again, down, and down. All right, so, and then formula A to bring the yellow back to the top, because we already know that. Slide. Pause, slide. Okay, yellow's on top. So these ones match, and these ones, it had no matching, so now it has 1 matching. Face it away, do the same thing again. Slide up, slide down, slide down. And then formula A to bring the yellow back to the top. Slide. 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 Okay. One more. Before I do that, though, I'm going to demonstrate on a solved cube what the formula B did. Top row, outside columns. Okay. Slide up. Slide up. Slide down. Slide down, and the rest of the cube did nothing. It only moved 3 pieces. It moved the 3 pieces I intended to move, which was these corners. Okay, Again, slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. So once had the effect of going clockwise, twice had the effect of going counterclockwise, and if I do it again, it'll be back to however I started. Okay, so with this one, let's see, which is the one that doesn't have this one, all sides match, this one, all sides match. Okay, this one, blue does not equal orange, but red equals red. So hold, if the matching face is away from you, as if it's the headlights of a car you're driving, and if every other move is horizontal, every other horizontal is the reverse of the one before it. So slide first up, slide second up, slide first down, slide second down, and then A to bring the yellow back to the top. And so the yellow corners are done. The opposite to yellow corners are done the exact same way. We take the yellow side, we put it face down. We're going to abandon the yellow while we work with the opposite color to yellow, which on all of these is white, but on this one, opposite to yellow is red, so go figure. So we're working with the color that's opposite yellow. So with the yellow face down, we look at see what color they all have in common, and it's for most cubes it's going to be white, but it's also, if you have trouble finding it, it's a color that doesn't touch yellow. So it's not blue, not orange, not green, or not red. So it is indeed white that we're going to work with. If we have any white that are already on top, we're going to preserve them, and then we're going to start, hold the cube in that position, and we're going to rotate the cube that's under my right thumb. And we're going to bring the white to the top with formula A. And we're ignoring the yellows. They're going to be dancing around, bopping around, but we're going to ignore the yellows till the white's on top on all four corners. And when that happens, the yellows will have resolved themselves. So if I stop halfway through and say, oh no, I messed up my yellows, I have to start again. No, you don't. You got to trust the process. So white's on top, pause, slide the white out of the way, keep going on this one. Out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. And you don't have to know this, but the cube does. It's always going to be a multiple of 6 sets to get the white to the top. And that is, of course, going to leave your yellow untouched. Not because resolved, I should say. Okay, so white's on top. And check the corners. Red does not equal blue. Orange does not equal red. Blue does not equal orange. So we have one side that matches. We face it away. And we do formula B. Slide up, slide up, slide down, and then the yellow is unchanged, and then formula A to bring the white back to the top again. And as long as we don't twist the cube, as long as we only rotate the top row and keep the cube stable, the bottom half of the cube will have gone through 6 rotations of A, which does absolutely nothing, which preserves the bottom. If we twist the cube instead of just rotating the top row, we will scramble our yellows. And so if we do, then we just, once we've got the whites ready, we say, okay, well, the whites are done. Now let's abandon the whites and do the yellows. So now that the white yellows are still happy to each other, the red whites are happy, corners match the top, corners match the sides. All we have to do now is rotate the top row until the top matches the bottom of the corners, and the corners are done. Okay, so that one's done. Yellow goes face down. We're going to abandon it. We're going to keep the whites that are on top, and we're going to work on do formula A to bring the other corners whites to the top. And as long as we don't rotate the cube while we're doing so, then the yellows, even though we can see them dancing around and playing hooky, when the whites get back to the top, the yellows will have resolved themselves, and all is well. So whites on top, we check, yep. Yellows are still happy. They didn't go nowhere. Okay, so do the corners match? Green does not equal red, but blue equals blue. So one side matches, faces away. Slide first up, slide second up, slide first down, slide second down. Okay, and then A to bring your color back to the top. Pause, slide the top. Keep going. Pause, slide the top, keep going. And again, we are abandoning the yellow because Formula A and Formula B never hurts them. So white's back to the top. Our yellows are still happy. The corners match now. So all we have to do is rotate the top to match the bottom, and the corners are done. Okay, so corners are done on these ones. Let's do it one more time. Preserve whatever of your top color that's already there. Start with one that needs to be twisted. And this, I'm going to hold the cube in this stability until the white's on top on all four corners. So the yellows, we're going to ignore them because if we look at them midway through, we think they've messed up and we have to start over again. But we don't. That's okay. White comes to the top. Okay. Either all sides match, no sides match, or one side matches. Matching faces away. B, up, up, down, down, and then A to bring the color back to the top again. Slide. And as long as we don't rotate the cube while we're doing this, we only keep the cube stable, then the rest of the cube, everything, we're only working with 3 pieces at a time, and the rest of the cube stays the same. So the yellows are still happy. The whites are now happy to each other. All we have to do is rotate the top until it matches the bottom, and these corners are done. May as well set the center when we can. Okay, one last time. Yellow goes face down. We'll preserve this one, and we have to keep the cube stable from this point forward until the white's on top on all of them. So out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, to out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. Pause, because white's on top. Slide the top out of the way, continue on the next corner. You'll notice we kept the cube stable so that the bottom half of the cube is just going through its sixth set of A, which does nothing. The only thing we're moving are the pieces, the only thing we're affecting are the pieces that we want to affect. White's on top. Okay, yellow's still happy. Corners, those don't match, these ones do. Facing away, Formula B. Slide up, slide up, slide down, and when I bring use A to bring the white to the top again, when I'm finished with this step, they will all be, the top 4 corners will be correct to each other. There we go. So yellows are still happy, top are now happy, but green does not equal blue, and red does not equal blue, and blue does. So the corners are done on all of these. On the 2x2, that's as far as it goes. You're done. Hey, yay, rejoice. For the rest of them, the corners now dictate what color each face is going to be. So instead of dealing with the reductionist method, instead of finding an edge piece and pairing it up with its partner edge piece, and then that's a double solve. First you have to find the 2 pieces, and then you pair them up, and then later on you place them. What you can do is you can just keep yellow and white left and right, find a piece and throw it in the direction it wants to be, and they'll pair themselves up. We don't have to worry about pairing them up. So this piece is going to go, so corners yellow and white are left and right. I'm just going to real quick how the corners work. So with yellow and white left and right, I'm going to find a yellow or white in the middle area with the yellow or white on top. I'm going to bring the corners to match the front of the cube, determine which direction it's going. So the red and the white something will land above the red and the white something corner, not the red and yellow something corner. So it's going this direction. So again, Formula B, top row, 2 columns. The first column is where it's going to land. The second column is where it begins. Okay, and all we gotta do is just throw it in the direction it wants to be. So away from the action, first up, back into the action, second up, away, down, back, down. So it's the same slide up, slide down, same muscle memory, but you're dealing with outside, inside, so that you deal with the edges. So that one's placed, okay? So I'm going to leave that for tomorrow. Also, if you want to know how the centers work, that's easy too. Find a piece that wants to go to the top area. Okay. Again, formula B, 2 columns. This is the top row. The first column, I'm going to follow this cube piece along. So it goes up, slide it into a different column, and that becomes my second column, up. And then reverse, down, and that moved the piece up there. The center is easier to do once the edges are done because the edges are there as a visual clue which columns you're on. So that's it. That's the quick overview. Anybody want to chat with me before I say goodbye? I'll be back here tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat station. I'm old. All right. So tell me if anyone has any ideas for me. Tell me which cubes I should try next, because it does work. Like I said, it does work on the cubes. It does work on the dodecahedrons. It works on the pyraminx. I only have the 3 pyraminx right now, and that's solved with just formula A. I don't even need formula B on that one. So what's the next thing you'd like me to try it on? And what's the next cube you think I should try? And in the meantime, go have a nice day. Go walk in the sunshine. Go drink plenty of water. Go be nice to yourself. Go have fun. And I'll be back here tomorrow. Bring me your non-cuber friends if you wanna, and we can have fun. Because I can incorporate Zoom, as School Bus can attest. I can incorporate Zoom, and that's fun because then I can see your cube too. So if you bring me more people who want to Zoom, I can Zoom up to 4 people at a time. I can teach up to 4 people at a time on Zoom at the same time. So don't be shy, and I'll be back here tomorrow. Bye, you guys.